Peter, tell us a little bit about the Irish Self Catering Federation and its purpose.
Jerome, the Irish Self Catering Federation came into existence in 2005. Fáilte were looking to get as many providers of self-catering products together and just have standards coming into the industry. It proved to be very successful. Our membership was up to around 365 prior to the recession that we experienced, but like all things, we were really badly hit with the recession and our memberships dropped down below 80. But we've developed a very, very strong policies in the Federation to go forward, and we feel now that we have a very good product to offer to members that want to come on board.
Absolutely, no, it's a fantastic product and a key part of the tourism landscape. How many members? You said 80. Are they dotted around the country? Is there good regional spread?
Well, we're now up to 96.
Very good.
We've concentrated to try and get members that had multiple properties on board itself. So while we're down to 96, our properties, we cater for about 2,000 properties across 26 counties. So it was the best strategy going forward. It was to look at numbers, increase quickly, and now we're ready, and hopefully people will come on board with smaller groups and singular units.
Absolutely, and benefit from being in a collective organisation such as yourselves.
Absolutely.
How is the season performing at the moment? I suppose you get a mixture of overseas tourists and the domestic market.
Yes.
How are your members feeling about 2018?
Across the country, it can change. Quite rightly, going by the Fáilte figures, where they say in the border town areas, Donegal, working its way down through Mayo. There are problems there where they're dependent purely on the UK market to come in. People are now starting, I would say possibly in the last 3 years, to try and broaden, deal with agents from Europe and from America as much as possible. The European market is the more suitable one really for the self-catering market. The Germans and the French, they stay a little bit longer, and they tend to like self-catering as against going into a hotel for a week.
Gives them more flexibility.
Much more flexibility, and they travel with families, so they like to have the freedom of the family to be able to roam around and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the kind of the challenges of the sector to a certain extent in terms, I suppose, of regulation and over-regulation. Is that an issue that you're concerned about?
At the moment, it's a big concern, and mainly within the cities like Dublin, Cork, and Galway. Rural areas won't suffer the same penalties as the cities will. We have seen throughout Europe over the last number of years where people like in Amsterdam now operating self-catering in the city of Amsterdam are reduced to 30 nights of letting. Totally unviable proposition. This is a lot to do not with self-catering as much as it's a trend around Europe where people are travelling, flights are cheap. The new platforms for self-catering like Airbnb, Booking.com have become very popular way of sites of moving around. People who are retired, it's a fantastic way of them going to see the new life at that age. This didn't happen before, it's happening now.
Yeah, absolutely. And your members, I know, of the European Holiday Home Association, is that an important relationship with other self-catering federations across Europe?
Well, absolutely. We've gained such knowledge as a federation by being part of the European. In fact, on the second year of it being formed, we actually became members.
Very good.
We would regularly have conference calls, possibly every 6 weeks, with the member states, and you'd have about 16 different federations across Europe.
Very good. And I imagine similar opportunities, similar challenges,
the challenges are very common.
Are across all the markets.
Yeah, the challenges are very common, and they're quite complex in some areas, but in Ireland we have a great opportunity to make sensible regulations itself. We've seen what happened in other cities. Other cities don't depend on tourism as much as Dublin because it's it's the start of a journey for tourists coming from abroad to go to tour around Ireland. And if it's a case you can't get accommodation in Dublin correctly, it'll have major problems, because it'll stop them from actually going there. They look at other destinations.
Yeah,
like
they won't
UK,
come to Ireland
Scotland.
at all.
They won't come to Ireland
Yeah.
itself. And that's the biggest fear we have itself.
Could we be doing more as a country to promote self-catering to overseas tourists? I mean, just my instinct is we don't see a lot of it in terms of advertising or marketing collateral that we use to promote
Absolutely.
Ireland.
I'm a big believer in this. First of all, I went off a Fáilte to Denmark 7 or 8 years ago, and I seen the opportunities for self-catering there. When I looked at products, our product was far superior and charged probably about a third of what they were charging
So
abroad.
much better value.
Fantastic value,
Yeah.
more personal.
Yeah.
Like in Denmark, you didn't have a wardrobe, you had a coat rail with hangers, and you just hung your stuff on it. So over here we had regulations that were restricting us, and when we returned, I would like to pay respect to Fáilte Ireland that on that trip they did look at it and they said we're stifling ourselves here from growing, and there's a lot of new standards came into place, which made it a much more really a better playing pitch for everybody itself. And the products that are now available in Ireland is fantastic. I was also in Brussels and in Amsterdam with Fáilte there only over a few months ago. I got to speak to some of the agents over there. They felt our federation would have an awful lot to offer as a conduit for them to engage with self-caterers, because we cover the whole 26 counties itself. And for that reason, we can offer them group schemes, or we can offer them independent properties. And a variety of, like, from castles down to 3-star properties.
Exactly, you've got the regional range and actually the product range. Yeah,
perfect.
Great. Well, Peter, congratulations on all the hard work that the Irish Self Catering Federation does, and we wish you and your members every success going forward. Okay,
I'd like to just thank our committee going forward itself. It's a hard-working committee. We've an excellent administrator. We'd just like to reach out to as many people to come and join and get on board with us as possible.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.